Okay, today's date is September 22nd, 2004. The time's approximately 6:43 p.m. The following is going to be a taped interview conducted by myself, Sergeant Mark Hollingsworth, the Arkansas State Police Criminal Division. And the interview is with Casey R. McCullough. That's C-A-S-E-Y. The last name is M-C-C-U-L-L-O-U-G-H. And Casey, if you would, I need to state your name and date of birth for me, please.
My name is Casey Russell McCullough. I was born January 16th of '84.
Okay. Casey, as I stated, this is a interview that I'm conducting. It's reference to at this point, it's a missing person investigation being conducted in Izard County. And it's being conducted at the Izard County Sheriff's Office and in Melbourne. And you and I are the only two in the room. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Casey, prior to going on record on tape today, I read you a statement of rights off of what I call an ASP 116 or a Miranda rights form, and I want to show you that form. And do you recognize this form?
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's dated today, 9/22/2004, and your name, the location, things like that. And this is a statement of rights. And do you remember me reading the statement of rights to you earlier?
Yes, sir.
And did you understand all of those rights?
Yes, sir.
And did you indicate that you understood them and place your initials on the paper?
Yes.
And did you also sign it indicating you would talk to me?
Yes.
Okay. Just, I want to have that on record, and you realize that statement of rights is still in effect?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Case, what I want to ask you about is, obviously, you know, that we're investigating at this point, it's officially a missing persons case involving Rebekah Gould, who is a white female that I believe you've known for 6 to 7 months. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And tell me, how did you come to know Rebekah?
We worked at Sonic together, and the very first day that she worked at Sonic, I thought she was the most beautiful creature I've ever seen, so, you know, that's when we started talking.
Yeah, she is a very pretty girl. How long did you work with her at Sonic?
She worked for about, I'd say 3 months, and she quit because, why did she quit? She felt that her tips were being held out.
Okay, during the time that you worked with Rebekah at Sonic, did y'all start dating?
Yes.
Okay, and would it be fair to say that y'all became a boyfriend and girlfriend?
Yes.
At some point, did you even live together during that last 6-month period?
Yes, we did.
Okay, and was it at another house with a third party?
Yes, it was at Teresa Apple's.
Okay, and is that here in Melbourne?
That's here in Melbourne.
Okay. And how long did you live with Rebekah?
For about two months.
Okay. And after that, did the relationship, did y'all split up, or what took place?
Well, we did split up. We decided that, you know, it'd be better if we just stayed friends, and that's what we did. We still spend an awful lot of time together, though.
Okay. At the time that you broke up, was it a pretty serious relationship?
Yeah.
And by serious, was it a sexual relationship?
Yes.
Okay. And lasted just a couple months, and then y'all kind of split and went your separate ways. Is that correct?
We didn't split and go our separate ways. We just decided to go back as friends.
Okay. And how'd that work out?
Worked out pretty good. We just decided to stay friends. We'd just do friend stuff for a while, and
What kind of friend stuff?
like we'd hang out, rent movies, and talk about our favorite teams and stuff like that.
At some point during this past summer, did she make you aware that she was going to go to the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When was that?
Right before school started. She had like one more day before she had to be down to Fayetteville to register.
So probably late August, mid to late August?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, sounds about right.
And she subsequently ended up going to the university. I think she's got a sister over there, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And is that Danielle?
Well, the sister that lives there? The sister that lives there, her name's Tiffany.
Okay, and she lives over there, but
Yeah.
Danielle and Rebekah were going to school together.
Yeah, they go back and forth.
Okay. Okay. What did you think about her decision to go to Fayetteville?
She asked me what she should do, and I told her, I said, that's what you need to do.
So you encouraged her?
Yes, I encouraged her to go to Fayetteville.
All right. And we're roughly, it's It's about 22nd of February, so I'm guessing roughly 4 to 5, 6 weeks of school has gone on.
Mm-hmm.
And during that period, have you seen her each weekend since she went to Fayetteville?
Yes, sir.
Okay, she's come back
Mm-hmm.
to Melbourne?
Yes, sir.
And has she stayed with you when she came back?
Yes, sir.
At your trailer out in Guyana? Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And did she stay with you this past weekend?
Yes, she did.
Okay. When did she come back in? When did you first see her this past weekend?
When I first saw her was Friday night. I came in and she was cleaning the house.
So she was already
Right
home?
Yeah, right after I got off work. It was about 11:45.
Okay, at night?
At night.
Okay. And was there any problems with everybody getting along fine? Anything come up?
Getting along pretty good, yeah.
Okay. Did you sleep together that night?
Yes.
Did you have sex that night?
No, sir.
Just slept together?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what did you do that Saturday?
Saturday, I had to work that morning. So I went to work and just worked all morning, came back home, and Rebekah decided that she wanted to go to Batesville, or both of us did. And we went to Batesville and rented 2 movies from Hastings. Off the top of my head, I can't really think of what movies they were. But and after that, we went home and we watched the movies and went to sleep.
Okay, and that takes us into Sunday morning.
Yes.
Okay, let me go back just a sec. During Saturday, when she's staying with you at the trailer, did you have sex with her Saturday night?
No, sir.
Okay. Did you have sex with her any time during the weekend?
No, sir.
Okay. Sunday, did you have to go to work Sunday?
Sunday, yes, I had to go to work in the morning again. I went to work, came back. Really not much I can say about work, is that went back, and this time we decided that we wanted to go to Mountain View. But my dad had called me and said he needed a ride to work. So I let him have my truck, because me and Rebekah really didn't want to stick around with my dad all day in Batesville all night. So we gave him my truck, and she was there, and she followed me to my grandparents. I gave my dad my keys to my truck, told him to take care of it because it's my truck. And he said, okay. So I left with Rebekah and we went to Mountain View. When we got to Mountain View, we really actually drove around trying to figure out something to do, and then we decided to rent more movies. So we went to Harps and rented 4 movies.
You know approximately what time it was?
I don't really know, but would they keep that on record at Harps? So we could check that out. Okay.
Well, I've already checked it. That's what I was asking you.
Yeah, I
time.
really don't know what time it was.
Was it after dark?
It was dark, yes.
Okay. So you rent the movies in Mountain View, then where do you return?
We returned back home, and we put one movie in. We start watching it, and we're done with that one, and we're walking around just having conversation. You know, I think we're cooking, and after that, she looks out the window and she sees somebody out in on the road, the dirt road, and I look out there and I told her it was my cousin, and I went out there and he said that I wasn't going to stop and talk to you, but because I didn't see your truck out here, but I saw Rebekah come out on the steps. So, you know, I decided to stop, see if you were home, and so you were. And we talked a little bit, went back in. I went back in, and he left out, and we watched another movie. We didn't watch all 4 movies. I went to sleep after.
It would have been kind of difficult to do.
Yeah, I mean, I still have not watched the other 2 movies.
It's your cousin. What's his name?
His name is Billy. We call him Little Billy, and it's Billy Miller.
Where does Billy live at?
He lives in Texas, and I'm not for sure where.
What was he doing up here?
He was coming up here to move his mom and his brother back to Texas. They moved here because they liked the country, but then Jeremy, the younger brother, wasn't doing too well in school, so they decided to move back.
Okay. And so has he already gone back, do you know?
Yes, he's already gone. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. And so I guess he came up and spoke with you just a short period of time that night?
Yes, sir.
That would have been Sunday evening?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how long did he stay?
About 10-15 minutes tops. We just really talked about old times and stuff.
Did he come into your house?
No, sir. He stayed outside. I was outside. He never came in the house, but Rebekah was on the front porch. He saw Rebekah on the front porch.
Did he know that you and Rebekah dated in the past?
Yes.
Did he know that y'all were living together?
He knew that she visited on the weekends. and stayed.
All right, take me into the next morning, which is Monday morning, which would have been just the day before yesterday. Today's the 22nd, which would have been the 20th. And did you get up that morning and go to work?
Yes, I did. I got up and didn't have my truck. My dad had my truck, so I woke Rebekah up. Rebekah, really tired, you know. I got her up, and she said, "Okay, I'll take you to work." So she got up.
What was she wearing? Do you remember?
Okay, I believe she was wearing her pink shoes. There's a jacket that she has that's made out of like towel material. It was yellow, and it looked like it's made out of like a dry towel, you know, that you dry yourself off with. And I do remember that because that's one of the jackets she hardly ever wears, and she wore it that morning.
What kind of pants?
Jeans. I really don't know which ones they were.
And her slippers.
And her slippers.
What was unique about her slippers? What they look like?
They're pink and furry. They're house slippers.
So she took you to work that morning in her vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what time did she take you to work?
I was already late, so I wasn't, late just yet, but I could tell I was going to be a few minutes late. So it was probably about 10 minutes till 8 when we left. She took me to work. I did notice that she wasn't being, she was really quiet, more quiet than usual. So
she just woken up?
I blamed it on her just being really tired. And
so she drops you at work and just a little past 8?
Mm-hmm, a little past 8, and all I remember is saying bye and smiling to each other and waving. And that's the last time I saw Rebekah.
Okay. Did you have any contact with her by telephone?
No, sir. I tried.
Have you talked with her since Monday morning at 8 o'clock?
That was the last time I talked to her.
And you haven't seen her since then?
I haven't seen her since.
That afternoon, that Monday afternoon, she was scheduled to go back to Fayetteville with her sister. Is that correct?
I asked her about what time she'd be leaving, and she said it's probably going to be tonight sometime.
Okay. So did you plan on seeing her before she went back?
Yes, she was supposed to come back and pick me up from work to go pick up my truck from Batesville.
Okay. And did she show up?
No, sir, she didn't.
And what time was she supposed to pick you up?
4.
And she did not show up?
She did not show up.
What did you do when she didn't show up?
Well, I started calling the house, and
had you called her prior to that day?
Prior, like before?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I called her to see if she, I call her early to get her to come down here before I get off so that, she's here and I don't have to wait on her.
You called her, one time to?
Yeah, one time, and no answer. So I kept trying to call after she didn't show up, and right now I really don't know where she's at, so I got one of my friends to take me to Batesville and get my truck.
Okay. And who did you go to Batesville with?
Laren, Philip, BJ, and Sean. Do you want their last names?
I think Agent Stone's got those back there. He may have already talked to them. I think he has. So you go to Batesville with these guys,
mm-hmm.
and you pick up your vehicle. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And where do you stay that night?
I stayed at Laren and Philip's house.
And where's that at?
That's in Oxford, past Brockwell, I believe.
Okay. At any time since you left at 4 o'clock on Monday afternoon from Sonic to go to Batesville, and then you came back to Oxford, at any time since you left there, did you go back to your house at any time that night?
No, sir.
Did you ever go back there to get some clothing items, a shirt, pair of pants, anything like that?
No, sir.
You never went back to the house?
That night?
Right.
Never. No, haven't.
When was the next time? Well, let me go back. You spent the night at Oxford, right?
Yes, sir.
And what time did you leave Oxford or that house and come to work the next morning?
About 7:30.
So you had to be at work approximately 8?
Yes.
Okay, and you got to work at 8, and how long did you stay at work?
I stayed there for about 10-15 minutes. I called Rebekah's mom to see if she had heard from Rebekah, because, I haven't yet. And she said she sounded really worried and freaking out, and so I asked my manager, Daniel, if I could go down to the house and see if she was there.
Were you concerned when she didn't come pick you up the day before?
Yes, sir, I was, but...
Is there a reason you didn't call her parents then, or her mom?
She called me before that, actually, and she says, I really don't know where Rebekah's at, and to me...
What time did she call you?
I really don't know. I was working, making hamburgers.
Just sometime during the day?
Yeah. But she told me that she hadn't seen Rebekah, and her mom's called me many times before this incident.
So no really reason to get upset or concerned at this point?
Because she has shown before after that, and I was kind of, trying to think positive. Hey, she's going to show up,
Okay.
And,
so you leave work within 10 to 15 minutes out of getting there, and you go back to the house to check. Tell me what you find when you get to your house.
I drive up, and I see her car, so I'm thinking she's there and she's safe inside, and I walk in, and I see her dog, which gives me a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Insurance.
What's significant about the dog being there?
That if she's there, then Rebekah's got to be there, because Rebekah goes nowhere without that dog.
Okay.
I walked in, checked our room. I'm going to call it our room because it is. And no sheets on the bed. Nobody's in there, and I thought it was very odd. No sheets on the bed because she just washed them the week earlier, and I wouldn't see why she'd rewash them again. I looked through the whole house again, double-backed in every room, and I didn't see anything, and it appeared to be, I thought I was on the clock because I punched it in, so that thing doesn't work all the time. And so I took off back towards Sonic.
Okay, was her car there?
Her car was there.
Okay, did you see anything like her slippers or anything like that in the house?
Yes, I saw her pink slippers.
Okay, so you get home, you've not seen her. She was supposed to pick you up at work the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother has called you asking you, if you've seen her because she's obviously concerned. And then you're concerned enough the next morning to leave work and go check the trailer, and you make a pass, at least 2 passes through the house,
mm-hmm.
and her dog is there, which you said she didn't go anywhere without her dog. Her slippers are there, and you leave and go back to work.
Yeah, this is the first time anything's ever happened to me like this, and I didn't know what to do.
I'm not saying in case there's a right or a wrong response going back there. I'm just making a point. That's those were your actions. Is that
yes,
correct?
Sir, those were my actions.
Okay, go ahead. So you get back to work.
And I go straight to my manager, and I tell him, I said, I feel like there's something, not right. Can I get the rest of the day off to, either look for Rebekah or go to her parents to see if anything has come up? And he said, yes, you can, but you got to find somebody to work for you. So I got in my truck, and I went over to Sean's house. He's a friend of mine, and as soon as I pulled up, a deputy pulled up behind me, and he said he was looking for Rebekah, and I said, that's me too, And
Did he indicate to you who had called him or asked him to do this?
He said that Rebekah's mom had reported her missing.
He was going to do like a welfare check on her?
Mm-hmm. Just to see if she was, where her belongings were.
Okay. And did you subsequently go back out to your house with a deputy?
Yeah, I asked him, I said, do you just want to follow me? And so I was ahead, and he just followed me all the way there.
And when you got there, the police, I take it, looked in your house?
Yes, I let him freely walk through the house. I showed him that her belongings were still there and how it's very odd that she really never ever leaves without it. And he walked into the back room, checked under the mattress, and found some blood. And I really didn't know where it came from. That's when I started getting really scared. Didn't know what to think. Then after we checked the mattress, he turned around and checked the washer. When we checked the washer, we saw just a little bitty film of something red. We didn't know if it was blood or not, but we noticed, and we tried to put 2 and 2 together that, the sheets were on the bed.
Let me ask you this, Casey. What do you think has happened to Rebekah?
I think she was killed. I don't know who did it.
Where do you... Just one at a time, okay? Take your time on this. No, it's difficult. Where do you think it took place at?
It had to have happened there. I mean, if all that blood and then no trails out of the house.
And how do you know there was no trails out of the house?
I mean, that's what I was told.
Who told you that?
Well, I watched the officers while they were checking, and they checked.
So they didn't tell you that, you just saw...
I just saw that they didn't stop really quick to see if there was any blood on the steps. Because I was wondering myself if there was a trail that led anywhere.
Okay. Did you have anything to do with Rebekah's disappearance?
No, sir.
Did you in any way cause any harm to Rebekah?
No, sir.
Let's go on the door of the residence or the door of the trailer. There's a
Front door?
Yeah, the front door. The doorknob, the interior and the exterior doorknob are both missing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you kind of have to know how to get in there. Is that correct?
Kind of. Well, it's fairly easy.
You just kind of got to study it for a minute to figure it out.
Yeah, a second. You can easily get it open.
Okay. And you made a statement to me earlier. You thought that whoever had done this, or when it took place, that, and help me out with this a little bit, that whenever it took place, that whatever happened to Rebekah, she must have been lying down on the bed. Do you remember making that statement?
Yeah, I do.
What was that based on?
I just saw blood on the bed. That was the only time I ever saw blood. Whenever I was in there with the deputy, it was on the bed, so I figured it had to have been on the bed, or that's where she was thrown. If afterwards, that's all I know.
Okay. Was there anything either that you know by personal knowledge or that somebody told you about the mattress? Was there anything out of the ordinary about the mattress or anything in the bed?
Just besides the blood, that's the only thing.
Okay. And going back to the bed covers, the coverings on the bed, where were those located at?
They were in the washer and dryer.
Okay. Washer and dryer?
Well, not the dryer, just the washer.
Okay.
My bad, I'm sorry.
Yeah, how many covers were there on the bed?
We had 2 comforters, no sheets. One comforter we were laying on top of, and the other one we were using to cover up with.
Okay, so two bed covers.
Yes.
Okay. And I asked you earlier before we went on record about trying to call Rebekah on her phone, and you say you tried to call her on Monday. Is that correct?
Monday. Yes.
The day that she was supposed to go back to Fayetteville that evening?
Yes.
Okay. And you called her how many times do you recall?
About 4 or 5 times from Sonic.
Okay.
I didn't try her cell phone because I was led to believe that she had no minutes.
Okay. And what led you to believe that?
Well, she told me. She said that I'm out of minutes.
Okay. When did she tell you that?
She was talking to her mother, I forget what night. I think it was possibly the night before that she was talking to her mom and it just hung up on her. She might have just lost signal and told me that she ran out of minutes. I'm not for sure, but she did tell me that she ran out of minutes.
When you called her on Monday, did you leave her any voicemail?
No, sir.
Okay. And then on Tuesday when you called from Sonic, you called out to the house, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that was before you went out there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just make sure I understand. Monday the calls you made to her cell phone, 4 to 5 calls, and then on Tuesday you called to the house. Is that correct?
What?
On Monday when you called her on her cell phone and wasn't able to get her, but Tuesday when you called her from Sonic, you called your residence to see if she was back there yet, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, just wanted to clarify that. I know when we first started off, I had a question about our Mondays and Tuesdays.
Yeah,
kind of running together.
on Mondays and Tuesdays.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm going to close now. Casey, is there anything you'd like to say or get on the record that you'd like to put on the record?
Not really. I've said all I can say and all I know. And I hope
Casey, let me ask you this.
the right thing.
And we hope for the right thing to take place here, but let me ask you this, and I asked you this prior to going on record also, and just want to get it on record. What do you think should happen to whoever is, if somebody's done harm to Rebekah and she's, worst case scenario here, she's been brutally murdered, and our scene indicates that, that's something that may well have taken place here. What do you think should happen to that person?
Well, I'm not a real believer on the death sentence, so I just believe that they should have life in prison. They should live forever knowing what they did.
And, we talked about ransom scenarios, and we talked about, I really feel like this is probably somebody that was close to her, instead of somebody, I think the chances of somebody wandering onto a house trailer on Guyan Road are pretty, not really practical. Pretty slim. But, I feel like it's probably somebody that's known to her. It is,
I agree.
It's kind of an instinct of mine that indicates, and you say you agree with that. Anybody she's had relationship problems with, or somebody that knows she's out there, that she would feel comfortable either letting in the house or that could talk to her to get inside the house?
Well, I do know, but we've talked about earlier. He had an alibi.
Her previous boyfriend.
Yes.
And anybody else?
there's no one else I could think of at all. I mean, there's no one else I could think of capable of something like this. I mean, I don't know.
Okay, capable of what?
Of the disappearance of Rebekah. I really don't know where she went. I can't think of anybody.
Okay. Do you think she's just missing and she's going to show back up?
That's what I hope, but you keep telling me that you believe that she's dead. And
well, I'm trying to, I kind of work from the worst case scenario. I would be, terribly out of line if I told you I hope that she walks through that door right now. But based on talking to the other agents and things we've talked about, I feel like there's a very good chance that she may well have been a victim of some foul play, and that's why we're continuing to do what we're doing. But Casey, anything else you'd like to get on record?
no, sir, that's all I know.
Okay. There's no further statements to be made or questions to be asked. The interview is going to be concluded. I've got approximately 19:09 or 7:09 p.m. The date's still the same, the 22nd of September, 2004. Then I'll conclude the interview.